Assalamu alaikum students. Hope you are all doing great. I'm Dr. Aisha Enes and today the topic of our tutorial is leptospirosis. What is leptospirosis? Leptospirosis is basically an animal infection, a bacterial infection that is caused by spirochetes of the genus Leptospira. It is an infection in rodents and other wild and domesticated species. It can be transmitted to human under certain environmental conditions. It is basically an animal infection but can be transmitted to human, and human to human transmission is very rare, but animals to human transmission is possible. Leptospirosis is one of the most common zoonotic diseases worldwide. An infection occurs through contact with infected animals or soil or water that has been contaminated by the urine of infected animals. So coming on the scope of the problem, globally it is considered as the most widespread disease transmissible from animal to man, and it is more common in warm, humid tropical countries. Number of cases is not well documented because figures are grossly underestimated, overlooked and underreported. Approximately 5 lakh cases of leptospirosis are estimated to occur worldwide each year. एंड लेप्टोस्पायरोसिस जो है वो समटाइम्स मिसडायग्नोज होती है बिकॉज क्लिनिकल प्रेजेंटेशन जो है वो नॉन स्पेसिफिक है एंड बहुत सी फिब्राइल एक्यूट फिब्राइल इलनेसेस से जो है वो रिजेंबल करती है, तो इट इज़ डिफ़िकल्ट टू diagnose it until unless it is severe. So talking about the epidemiological determinants of leptospirosis, talking about agent, there is Leptospira. Talking about the morphological features of Leptospira, it is a corkscrew shaped bacteria. As you can see in the diagram, it is thin, light and motile bacteria that has hooked ends, and it's so thin that it is impossible to see it with a normal microscope. It is visible by dark field illumination and silver staining, and there are 23 serogroups and 200 above serowers जो recognize हो चुके हैं overall from different parts of the world. Coming to the source of infection, as I already told you, urine of infected animals is a source of infection, and urine of infected animals is a source of infection for a very long time, and in case of rodents, it's for entire lifetime. So contamination of soil and water with the urine of infected animals or carrier animals can be the source of infection. Now coming to the animal reservoirs, so wild and domestic animals can be the reservoir of the infection, especially rodents, rats, mice and moles, and domestic animals such as cattle, sheep, goat, buffalo, pigs, horses may be infected through grazing. As I told you, soil or water contaminated by urine is a source of infection. So cattle and sheep can be the reservoir by taking the infection through grazing. Pet animals, especially dogs, can also be the reservoirs by taking infection from the contaminated soil or water. To the host factors, age, occupation and immunity are the factors we will talk about. Talking about age, children acquire infection from dogs more frequently than adults. Talking about occupation, veterinarians, slaughterhouse workers, agriculture and livestock farmers, sewer maintenance workers, waste disposal facility workers. They are some of the high risk groups of people because veterinarians have to deal with the animal and they can be the reservoir of the infection, and sewer maintenance and waste disposal facility workers can be dealing with the contaminated stuff that is contaminated by the infected urine of the infected animal. Except that later time activities such as swimming and fishing may also carry risk because the water can be contaminated by the urine of the infected animals. Immunity is serover specific immunity, and as I told you, there are many serovers. So serover specific immunity makes it quite difficult to get the people immunized. So environmental factors, as we talked before, that urine is the major source of infection, and the leptospira shed in urine still survive for weeks in soil and water. that leads to high level of environmental contamination where carrier or infected animals frequently urinate. Contact with flood waters and travel to areas with high risk of leptospirosis, particularly tropical developing countries with climate change, flood related outbreaks are becoming more common because flood waters and humid environments make um, the spread of the infection easy. And leptospirosis is more common in poor population because of some factors such as poor housing, limited water supply, and inadequate method of water disposal. These are the factors that makes it a significant risk for poor population. Now talking about the mode of transmission, there are three modes of transmission: direct contact, indirect contact, and droplet infection. Talking about the direct contact, it is the contact directly to the animal, and it can be through skin abrasions or intact mucous membranes. And indirect contact is the contact with the contaminated soil, water, or vegetation, ingestion of contaminated food or water. That is the indirect contact. And droplet infection is breathing in air that is polluted with the droplets of urine of infected animal, like breathing in the air while milking a cow or buffalo can be source of infection. Look at this picture. I hope this makes the understanding of mode of transmission a little easy for you guys. Um, Rodents and other animals are the source of infection. If human catches the infection through rodents or other animals direct through the animals, it is direct transmission. But if human catches the infection through the contaminated soil or water, contaminated medium, that is soil or water, then it is indirect transmission. And if it is transmitted by uh, other medium, that is air, then it is droplet infection. Into the clinical features of leptospirosis, what is actually leptospirosis, it presents like. Clinical presentation of leptospirosis range from mild non-specific febrile illness to life-threatening complications. Incubation period is 4 to 20 days, that is usually 10 days. Leptospirosis manifests as a biphasic illness. There is a first phase, that is acute phase, and there is a late second phase, that is immune phase. In first phase, it starts from the third to seventh day and is characterized by sudden onset of fever, myalgia, and headache. Calf tenderness and conjunctival suffusion are characteristic but not always present. Other non-specific symptoms include anorexia, nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, dizziness, lethargy, arthalgia, eye pain, photophobia, and rashes. So the clinical features are very extended that and resemble many febrile illnesses. Is like this is common for almost all the febrile illnesses. Therefore, this is kind of difficult to diagnose leptospirosis um, by clinical features. For second phase, that is immune phase, it is the phase after 7 days from the onset of symptoms. Immunologically mediated organ damage occurs and severe complications include acute renal failure, pulmonary hemorrhage, myocarditis, arrhythmias, shock, liver failure, coagulopathy, and neurological complications. Weil's disease is other name of leptospirosis, and Weil's disease is it is basically the other name of the late phase of leptospirosis. It is a classic triad of jaundice, renal failure, and hemorrhage, but these manifestations do not always occur together. Actually, 90% of cases of this disease are mild leptospirosis. Lung affected as the most serious and life-threatening of all complications, often incorrectly diagnosed due to non-specific symptoms, as I already told you, and case fatality rate is 1 to 5%. So coming to the diagnosis, as I already said, it is really difficult to diagnose clinically. So laboratory support is indispensable. Diagnosis is made by the isolation of leptospirosis from blood during acute illness or from urine during the late phase, after the first week. A culture takes 1 to 6 weeks to become positive, so therefore going for culture is very time taking. A confirmed case requires definitive laboratory evidence of leptospirosis infection by one of the following: either isolation of pathogenic Leptospira species or a fourfold or greater rise in Leptospira microscopic agglutination test um, between acute and late phase. Sera obtained at least 2 weeks apart and preferably conducted at the same laboratory, or a single Leptospira microscopic agglutination test that shows the value of more than 400, supported by a positive IgM ELISA result. How can we treat leptospirosis? Talking about the drug of choice, it's penicillin G, and the dose is 6 million units daily intravenously. Other antibiotics that can be also be administered are ampicillin, amoxicillin, and doxycycline. In more severe cases, cefotaxime and ceftriaxone can also be given. For supportive treatment, glucose and salt solution infusions are given to maintain the electrolyte imbalance, and dialysis in serious cases, and organ specific care and treatment in case of renal, liver, or heart involvement in case of very severe cases. How can we control and prevent the disease? To prevent leptospirosis, we have to control the infection source. Firstly, we have to control the infection source. And what is the source of infection? That is rodents and animals. So we will control the rodents, and we will vaccinate the animals. By this step, we can minimize the spread of infection by controlling the source. Secondly, we will interrupt the transmission route um, that can be done by wearing protective clothing, and by refraining the contact with infected animals, and from swimming in contaminated water, and by using clean drinking water. And thirdly, finally, we will prevent infection or disease in the human host. That is, we will vaccinate the person, we will give antibiotic, and we will educate the risk groups and general populations, and we will inform the doctors and veterinarians. Two types of vaccination: vaccination for animals and vaccination for human population. For human population, it is really important to incorporate strains of the serotype that predominate in the particular area, as as I told you, the immunity is sero-specific immunity. So vaccinating for one type of leptospirosis is not enough to protect against all the serovars. Therefore, it is very important to incorporate strains of the serotype that predominate in the particular area. This is your assignment for today's tutorial, and you have to submit it in 20 minutes after the completion of the tutorial. Thanks a lot. I hope you get whatever I want you to understand. And if you have any question, you can ask me on the post.